Simon Collins, the chief executive of the Shetland Fishermen's Association (SFA), has said the government needs to address the outrageous move at the highest level. Norway last week announced it was unilaterally increasing its share of the Northeast Atlantic mackerel quota for 2021 to 191,843 tons to 298.29 tons in a move which has been replicated by the Faroe Islands. The decision follows the UK's failure to strike bilateral fishing agreements with Norway and Faroe for this year. This blog is no longer live. Follow here for the latest updates. Mr. Collins told Fishing News, Faroe catches a bigger proportion of its mackerel in UK waters than in its own, 52% to 45% last year. It has also transferred or swapped around a fifth of its mackerel quota for other fish stocks in the past 4 years, so can have no need for additional fish. Referring to the North Atlantic Pelagic Advocacy Group, NAPA, which is committed to sustainable quota shares, he added, "This is an outrageous move by these countries, and it needs to be addressed urgently by NAPA and by the government at the highest level." Since its inception, NAPA has confined its actions to writing letters to coastal states. With this escalation by Norway and Faroe, we are way beyond the point of letters having any impact. It is now time for NAPA members to come off the fence and take direct action by ending the sourcing of mackerel from these two countries in their retail supply chains. Ian Gatt, chief executive of the Scottish Pelagic Fishermen's Association (SPFA), said, "Norway is an advocate of zonal attachment, where fishing quota is associated with where the fish actually are. But in recent years Norway has been catching less mackerel in its own waters and more in UK waters, as our members can testify from the increased presence of Norwegian vessels." Norway's own figures show that in 2017, it caught just over 69% of its mackerel in its own exclusive economic zone (EEZ), and 21% in the UK EEZ. In 2020, those figures were 15.7% and 84.3% respectively, a very large swing. On that basis, it should be reducing its quota share, not increasing it. Meanwhile, talks between UK Brexit Minister Lord David Frost and European Commission Vice President Feroz Šefčovič in relation to disagreements over the Northern Ireland Protocol failed to make any progress today. The two sides have been in talks since January to discuss how to fully implement the Brexit deal's protocol to avoid a hard border. Hopes had rested on today's 4-hour talks to reach a compromise, but Lord Frost told reporters this afternoon there had been no breakthroughs. As a result, UK farmers could be banned from sending chilled meat preparations like sausages and chicken nuggets to the EU. The ban is a blanket EU rule that applies to chilled meat preparations being imported from any non-EU country. Sausages are allowed to be sent across the Irish Sea at the moment, but only for a 6-month grace period, which expires on June 30. The EU has already threatened trade sanctions to punish the UK for flouting the Brexit protocol that states that NI is treated as part of the EU. Lord Frost said ahead of this morning's meeting, further threats of legal action and trade retaliation from the EU won't make life any easier for the shopper in Strabane who can't buy their favourite product. Nor will it benefit the small business in Ballymena struggling to source produce from their supplier in Birmingham. It is not yet known whether further talks will be scheduled or what course of action the EU will take. The row focuses on the UK's willingness to extend a grace period for trade in chilled meat products like sausages and mince from the end of June. But the EU warned this could trigger tariffs or quotas on British goods under the terms of the trade deal agreed in 2019. Lord Frost has put the onus on the EU to make concessions, declaring that the bloc needed to show flexibility and engage with our proposals. At the moment the UK is resisting carrying out the checks on food and plants at Northern Irish ports, as it effectively puts the country within the EU's single market with respect to the checks. Northern Ireland officials are also fiercely opposed to the checks, as they claim it created an economic barrier between the region and the rest of the UK. The UK has instead put forward a plan for each side to accept that their standards are broadly equivalent. In March, the UK unilaterally decided to extend a grace period on when the checks would be introduced, prompting legal action from the EU.